Marty here. I bid you welcome to another episode of Marty's Mailroom. Today we're going back in time. I'm gonna take you through my old guitars, two of them, which I bought in '94 and '98, and we'll talk about them and see what they are made of, and check out the woods and hardware, etc. on those. I can't find that much info on them, but yeah, let's go through them and see what we can find out. Enjoy. Yeah, so let's start up with this. This is a Fender Stratocaster copy. It's from a brand called Falcon, with a very famous logo taken directly from Fender themselves. Feels like a Stratocaster. Don't know that much about this at all, actually. Can't find any info whatsoever. But I guess if we go straight to the body here, I think made from some cheap wood. And yeah, of course everything is plastic here, as you can see. And I also added some stickers. Doesn't look like much, actually. And the neck here is actually a little satin finish on it, so it's has been yeah, feels quite good actually, but it's more of a, yeah, I think it's a D shape somewhat on the neck here, on a rosewood fretboard, and some very cheap frets here. Also the tuners here are very cheap, made from the probably the cheapest hardware you can buy. And yeah, that's not much to tell about this one actually. The pickups as well aren't too much to write home about, and neither are the controls. But it was my first guitar. I bought her in '94, and yeah, I learned to play on this guitar, so it has a rather sentimental value for me. And yeah, it still plays, but it does not keep in tune, so it doesn't stay in tune. So I don't think it's in tune now. Nah. So yeah, it still does the job, but it has some issues here with the wiring and whatnot. But it's still in rather good condition actually. So yeah, still plays. And this one is a BC Rich Warlock. This one is from '98. And there's a little bit more info about this guitar actually. So it has a maple body here. And also the neck here is maple. Pretty unfinished neck actually, so it's not that oily and glossy as it is on the Falcon. Cost a little bit more. And the frets here are nickel with some diamond inlays here, as you can see, and also a bolt-on neck. Both of these guitars have bolt-on necks. And the headstock here is it's a headstock that they used back in the day. Nowadays it looks a little bit more different, a little bit bigger, I think. And there's no name here on the tuners, which is a little bit weird. Some of them is a little bit loose. It has 24 frets, And the pickups, which they said were going to be BC Rich original pickups, they are not. I've checked them out and it's actually some Samsung pickups. Very, very weird. But it still plays. Not that much in tune, but I haven't changed strings on it for quite some time, so maybe it's because of that. And yeah, it still plays, but the wiring here is a little bit off. I haven't rewired it or changed anything on it either, so I guess that's because of that. Has some dings here and there. And the bolt-on plate here says LA, California, USA. So you might think that this is a USA made guitar. I can honestly say that it's not. It doesn't say where it's made. I've tried to figure it out where these models were made. The best I could actually from my best knowledge is that these guitars are made somewhere in Indonesia, which I think is true. It did cost about $600, which is compared to this Falcon here is $400 more. So this one cost $200. So it's a beginner's guitar, you might say. This one only has 21 frets and a fixed bridge. While this one here, it has a licensed Floyd Rose bridge, but it can't actually pull up that high, as you might see. You can't do higher than that. So it's they have put something here which stops the bridge to completely dive up. So it's a little bit weird to me actually why they would do that. But the bridge here yeah, operates like a Floyd Rose, despite it can't be pulled backwards that much. But you can still do these wobbles, Floyd Rose wobbles, and still plays rather good actually. Yeah, so this was my second guitar. I used this one in many bands before I could actually play. Well, it's been my workhorse for many years, since about '98, so I have been doing all sorts of practice on this one when I went to school, and I never use these guitars anymore. They're very high value to me because I started out with them, so they always have a place here beside my mirror in the studio room. So nowadays I only use the Ibanez guitars I have because I think they are the best, and I also hopefully have learned to play a little bit more. Yeah. And so yeah, if you like this episode, as usual, just like the video, share it to your friends, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. As usual, it's very important. Actually, there's been quite some growth here lately in past 2 weeks, which I'm very thankful for. So thank you, all of you who have subscribed and liked, and also placed a comment or two here, my videos. And I would like to know what kind of videos you guys would like to see in the future episodes. You want to see more guitar videos, more gear, more amp-oriented stuff, more studio stuff, or is there some particular type of content you would like to see? Let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, back to this one. It has some double locking nut here, some cheap hardware. Actually, the color here isn't that bad, as it has been so long, and it still holds the black color on everything here. It hasn't degraded at all, so that's very cool actually. You can't say that many guitars nowadays. The paint wears off rather easily on some of them. This one really, it really does do the job when it comes to the paint. And it hasn't been broken or anything, even though there are some tuners here that has broke and needs to be replaced, but it's the only thing. You can still play on it. This one is, or has, an reversed headstock here, which is a little bit unusual back in the day, but I always wanted one. So yeah, it looks very cool. So it looks like this. There's some great weight to it actually. Yeah. And also the back plates here are plastic as usual, but they actually are quite good quality of these ones. So they still hold up. This one here is actually, it's actually better when it comes to the back plate here, because it's more sturdy and it's a little bit more thick than the one on BC Rich actually, even though it's $400 less. So yeah, and the paint here on this one is also very good. It doesn't have a locking system or nothing, but the tuners here are all original and there aren't any broken things on this one at all. The color here has degraded a little, so they're a bit more jello, which I think is very easy when it comes to the white hardware and plastic, you know. Also the controls here a little bit more yellow, but the back here is very white. Also the pickguard here is very white. It hasn't been discolored or anything. So yeah, this was a little quick rundown of some old guitars I had and are still in my possession actually. So thank you for joining me on this episode. I hope you liked this one. And next week we're going to talk about some old gear that I've been using back in the day. So let's check that out then. Until then, take care. Bye.